Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Future Beach podcast series. My name is Olga, and today with me, I'm happy to introduce Pietro Rabassi, Director of Central European Markets of Nord Pole. We're encouraging you to join Pietro and other experts this summer, June 9 and 10, in Barcelona, for the Future Bridge Power Price Forecasting Summit. Dear Pietro, welcome to our episode. I'm super happy to have you here. Please let us know what's your role in Nord Pole, and can you elaborate more about Nord Pole itself?
Yes. So first of all, thank you very much, Olga, for inviting us and inviting me. I think it's a great opportunity for us to be able to sit down a little bit and think about the next developments in the European power markets. About Nord Pole. So Nord Pole has been I would say around for forever, at least since the power markets were established. So we have been the world's first international power market back in the 90s, establishing what then became the target model for European markets for day-ahead, intraday, and also the derivatives markets that we used to operate. We have been historically present in the Nordics, Baltics, in UK, and now we are more and more present also in continental Europe, which is my own responsibility. So I'm in charge of the business that we do there, and that means P&L responsibility and anything related to that. So relationship with market participants, with other stakeholders, and of course participating in conferences where we see a good value added. And this, I think, would be one, definitely. So I think that what we see as a Nord Pole company that's been around for some time and operate in Europe. We do operate organically power markets. We also have serviced markets across Europe, like Croatia, Bulgaria, and soon Georgia. For instance, we do consulting across the globe. We see firsthand certain trends and certain aspects that we would like to elaborate in this conference. So maybe you can talk about that, if that's fine with you.
Great. So my second question to you will be, what's going to be your presentation about at the conference on 9 and 10 of June in Barcelona, and what our attendees should anticipate? Yeah.
So we are in 2022, and I would like us to think to be in 2032 and put ourselves in the shoes of a market participant or market stakeholder there in 10 years from now, knowing that the European power markets are at a turning point in terms of how they're structured, how the fundamentals work, and all that is related to that. So the presentation will be about the current situation in the power markets, the current trends that we see in the European power markets, and specifically what the role is of market participants, specifically, and other stakeholders in Europe in the electricity markets. We will elaborate on two main axes of development that we have seen happening since actually Nord Pole was established in the 90s, of integration of European power markets, with the last step that was achieved only a few months ago, integrating the last two markets in Southeastern Europe for both day-ahead, intraday. What does it mean? Why has that been done? And what are the benefits of it? And then the second aspect, which is also what is happening in terms of competition in the European power markets, and what the outlook will be. Of course, power markets as they are, given the trends that we will have described and underlined, and the axis of development is not perfect, is not, on certain aspects should be reformed. So we will be looking at the changes that are needed to achieve the best possible electricity market design, electricity markets in Europe, including market design aspects, regulation, and anything which is needed to be changed and thought about in the next years to be fit for purpose in 2032.
Great, thank you very much for this little teaser to know what's going to be your presentation about. I'm really wondering why this topic now, why you choose to present this particular topic.
So I would like us to think of two main reasons. One is, have you looked at the latest plans in terms of energy mix and energy mix changes for the next years that have been announced in the past few months, and also that have been planned for some time in various countries across Europe? Have you seen?
Obviously, it's changing, right?
It's changing. It's changing a lot. So, and I don't know if you have seen. We will talk about that in the presentation. So, how much, for instance, in Germany comes out of intermittent renewables currently? What has the neighboring country, France, announced that they will do in terms of energy and electricity production? What is the energy mix, for instance, in Italy dependent on? But of course, there is also a trend that we see, which is to have more and more renewables in the mix to be part of the European green agenda. So that has enormous impacts on the European power markets, both at wholesale and also retail level. And today, 16th of February, it is the day that had been announced by certain states and certain experts as the date where the Russian army would invade Ukraine. It has not happened yet, but that has had some impact on the energy prices, energy markets, and on the gas prices specifically, and the gas market, and that impacts definitely also the power markets. So we are definitely in a moment where we see a lot of trends that will definitely shake the markets and reshape the markets next months and decade and years. So it is, I think, a good time to sit down and reflect upon those.
Yeah, and we as a company representing the Future Bridge, we are happy to give the platform to experts to have this discussion, to lead the thoughts about what's happening on the market and what kind of the trends to anticipate and for what to prepare. And we are welcoming everybody again on 9 and 10 of June in Barcelona for Future Bridge Power Price Forecasting Summit. And one more question here from us. What are the trends and challenges in the power markets from the perspective of NEMO do you see currently?
Yeah, so it's definitely, I would say, a special moment where I mentioned we see power markets more and more integrated across Europe. We see more and more competition in the wholesale markets and also in the retail markets. But there is also definitely a change in the fundamentals that have been driving prices up. But at different scale according to the market that we speak about, the countries that we speak about. Prices fluctuate quite a lot. So currently, the situation, I would say, is not as stable or as it used to be even a year ago, because there have been some changes, fundamental changes in the structure. So it would be good to take some time also in this forum. I think that some of the other experts will talk about it as well, to think about what the drivers have been of these changes recently in the past year, more or less, or yeah, since the summer. 2021 and see how they have been evolved and what changes they have brought to the market. I think it's definitely a good topic to bring to the table.
Great, thank you very much for your answer. I have one more question here. Which challenges should the industry prepare for in the nearest future?
But yeah, very interesting point, very interesting question. I think that it is the challenge of being a fit for purpose market participant. And if you are such, you definitely should be part of this conference and of these discussions. And if you are a market stakeholder, so not directly a market participant, you are also definitely interested because, for instance, you manage the grid, or you regulate the market, or you analyze it. So it's definitely a challenge here to be able to understand what the new role will be of all different stakeholders in a even more changing landscape in the European power markets. And you would be interested to know what the integration of power markets has done so far, and what the next steps will be, what the competitive landscape looks like, what benefits it gives to the market participants and to the market at large. And you'll be interested to know possibly what the next market design and regulation needed will be in this ever-changing and even more changing power market. So all these elements, I think, are a good reason to join our session and our debate. And I definitely look forward to hearing about other experts, and also open up for questions, debate, and panel discussions, or any discussions that we can have, hopefully live when we meet, and that I think is always enriching in our daily jobs.
Great, thank you very much, Pietro. It was a pleasure to have this short chat with you on our episode podcast Future Bridge series. And this podcast was dedicated for Power Price Forecasting Summit, which is happening 9 and 10 of June 2022 in Barcelona. And Pietro Rabassi is going to be our honorable speaker representing Notpool. We're looking forward to see you there and hear your presentation. We're excited about it. Thank you very much for your time.
Me too. I'm very, very happy. And thank you for joining. If you do, I think it will be a great opportunity to meet or to see each other again. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.